obviously we've asked a bunch about health with you since the beginning. Just how'd you come through camp? I mean, I hate to keep harping on it, but that's obviously the big question. Just how'd you come through camp? Were you 100%, and how are you just feeling going in?
I came through camp, fine, perfect. You know what I'm saying? God gave me the strength every day to wake up, go through camp. So, back fully healthy, ready to roll. There's no problems. I feel like myself. So.
We talked to Scott Dolson yesterday. He said he guessed you probably stopped by his office like maybe 24 times or more through the off season, just checking in, keeping lines of communication open, maybe even just saying hello. I mean, I guess, is there, not to get too sort of deep with it, but in your mind, for guys like you who really were sort of purposeful about turning around last season, kind of from the very beginning of the off season, was there anything important, I guess, about, being in touch with the department around you, not just the program, but constantly just sort of, whether it's the AD or other programs? I know we'd see you and some of the other players at like women's basketball games. Was there, I guess, something important about that to you?
I mean, yes, the relationship piece. They come into our practice. We're about to our home. They're about to their home, which is their office. So, they hear us out. It's not just a one-way street. If it's a problem or, a concern, we can go to them, to the coaches, to Coach Allen, to anybody on the coaching staff, to Mr. Scott Dolson. They hearing us out with open arms, open ears, and willing to listen to us.
I'm guessing you've been asked this before, but I guess just the decision to come back this season, is that something you immediately knew you wanted to do? Is that a process you kind of had to work through a little bit? Can you just kind of take me through that decision?
Right, it's a process I had to, focus on and work through, and, God let me back here. Also, my little brother is here. Everything played a part. I didn't want to leave off last season like that also, so that played a part. And my work here at Indiana, it's not done yet. God kept me, here for a reason. He had me come back for a reason. So, my work here at Indiana, it's not done.
Tiawan, you mentioned your younger brother. Just what are the biggest areas of growth you've seen with him throughout this fall camp?
The physicality, with Travell, attention to details, getting better every day, the weight gaining, he is a very smart player. His future for Indiana going to be bright. So, I see the physicality, the maturity that's growing day by day. A lot more work to do, but day by day he's growing.
Yeah, Travell, of course, has been another member of that defensive back group. But what else have you noticed from some of the other guys in the group? And are there any names that have stood out for you?
Right, Jamar Sharp, James Mons, Brylan, Lanier, also, Jalen Williams, the other vet, Chris Keys, Lim. We have a deep corner room, any guy can play any given day. We have a great high standard in there, a great relationship in the room, so we have a special bond in there. So, we just trying to build day by day.
Tiawan, Matthew talked a little bit about just kind of how it's more focused on player-led this year. Do you feel that's helped you grow as both a player and a person off the field this year, just kind of putting more onus on you?
Right, when it's player-led, the coaches don't have to say very much. Yeah, they're going to coach, of course they're going to, say things here and there, but if the captains and, the veterans step up and say things before the coaches, because as players, we're out there with each other. Coaches on the sideline, so much they can really say. But when you're on the field, communicating, playing with your brother, you trusting him, he trusting you, it's no better feeling. And, working like that is just unbelievable.
I guess going back to Travell, just with the perspective of somebody who's been through it and obviously also knows his background, how he's come up in his career, what's it been like for you? Have there been moments, I guess, whether it's summer, fall, where you just sort of you sort of stop yourself and say he couldn't do that a month ago, or I've never seen him do that, a play he made, or just something he did in practice?
I know Travell, just growing up with him as my little brother, baby brother, last child of the bunch. I already knew he was going to be special. His future way brighter than mine here in Indiana. He's going to be, better. I push him that. I'm just trying to set the standard high from the cornerback room, high as I can. For every guy who comes through the cornerback room, I'm just trying to set it high for if they want to make their expectation better than mine. They're going to have a lot of work to do. I just want to set the bar for the cornerback room and also for Travell. But he is a special player. Someday be better than me. One day he will. So. Yeah.
I wanted to ask about Cam Jones. I know you've been playing with him for a couple of years now, but I guess just what is your favorite part about being his teammate?
And C4 is an awesome human being, man. Just outside of football, within football, he communicate, the energy level he brings, the leadership he brings, the vocal, just everything about Cam Jones is just a leader. He the definition of player-led, definition of a noisy player, and a connected player. He connect with everybody on defense. He connect with myself. I'm right behind him. Holding him accountable also while he holding everybody else accountable. He's an awesome human being, and any given day, and whenever he decide to go to the next level, a team would love to have him.
Brylan Lanier, that's somebody the defensive staff has obviously talked a lot about. Just what's impressed you about him? What stands out about his game? What impresses you about him as another
with
corner?
Brylan, he listen. He communicate when he don't know anything, or he have a second thought about something. He come ask me or Jay Will. He is a player that's trying to play up to the standard. He not trying to be a drop off when he comes to the game, and he done a great job at that. He's a player that we connect to. He fit our program. He fit our cornerback room. He coachable by players and coaches. He listens. So if you listen and you coachable, you can go a long way.